All right, I finally got you on here, Nell. It's been a long time coming, right? I think I was on your podcast over a year now,
Hmm.
and our relationship has grown. So we were connected with another, I don't know, some a contact, right? And so that's we just like wound up meeting each other through Zoom. Apparently, we're not too far away from each other,
Yeah.
and we kind of just held on and stayed in contact with each other as far as podcasters go.
Yeah.
uh, he joined the hub that I created, and I was on your podcast last year, and now here I have you on mine. So I'm excited for you to share your journey, your experiences in life with the listeners and the viewers, and hopefully they can get something out of it if they're experiencing something that you went through as well. So let's start with you, Nell. Where are you today?
Hmm. Today, I'm I'm the owner of Enticing Media. My husband and I own it together, actually, so I'm co-owner. I am still doing video production, podcast production as well. We do a live radio show. I have my own podcast, as you'd mentioned. So I'm in the production and media personality space, I guess you could call it. And I'm 40 years old. I turned 40 last year. And for so many, especially women, and for so many people my age, it's like, oh, I'm 40. Oh, it's this negative thing. And to me, I mean, I was really looking forward to it because I thought, 39, I felt the best. I was in the best shape that I had ever been in my life. And 40 hit, and all of a sudden that changed. And I think there's a part of me that thought, I should be somewhere further. I should be somewhere different at this age. And while I let all of the things that happened when I turned 40 get into my head, I was also letting all of the other things get into my head, like the doubt and, oh, you've got to be further. You're supposed to have more revenue in your business and all the things, right? And at some point this year, there were a few things that happened and different shifts, and we took on a few different roles that I didn't anticipate. I thought, screw the vision board and you know, who cares about all the things that you're supposed to be doing? And I'm just gonna live in the moment. And that's where I am. I guess the answer is I'm in the moment. And I love that because I'm not worrying, I'm not fretting, I'm not overthinking things, and I'm just going with the flow and allowing things to happen, and I'm finding that that opens up the energy and allows opportunities in.
I love it. What a great introduction to come in here. And this is where Nell is today, right? Totally different than every other guest I've had. So, um, I agree with you. Like, you have to be present and in the moment, enjoy it. Like, stop getting depressed and being anxious about yesterday and tomorrow.
Hmm.
Um, because life is a struggle sometimes, but we always create that. We put that in our heads. That's our image that we create. So
Yeah.
I would agree, like for me as well. I'm like, I can compare myself to so many other people and I should be here, I should be there. But in reality, you should just be where you are
Yeah.
and you're your own person. And I like how, yeah, you have a vision board. I'm sure you're going to see some of that stuff come true still, but
Hmm.
you're probably taking a different path to get there and you just don't see that part yet.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's, I mean, look, when I say screw the vision board, I don't mean like throw it out the window, never look at it again. It's basically I have a different view of what the vision board is. It's not the path. It's a guide. And I do think that when you think about things and you talk about things, you put them out into the universe, then those things do tend to come to fruition. And that's what the vision board really should be. It should act as a guide to help you think about these things and bring these visions to life, not be the exact path that you think you should be taking. And, I heard actually a friend of mine was on a podcast recently and she said something really interesting. She said, I hate the term self-care She said, because it has this connotation of something that we should be doing all the time. That's another thing we have to add to the plate when we're already so busy and already kicking ourselves for things that we should be doing. And it's it's what the vision board is one of those things. I think it could be misconstrued as something that has to be taken as gospel, and it's just not. And living in the present, living in the moment will also, I think, allow you to have a greater appreciation for the things that you are experiencing, even if they're on the vision board or not.
Yeah. No, I agree. For example, I wound up speaking for the first time this year and like it was on my vision board for 2 years. Like, but I didn't
Yeah.
know it would actually ever become something, right?
Yeah. And the vision board has no timeline.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It's just a path. Like you don't know how you're going to get there.
Exactly.
So you weren't always like this, right? Obviously it was 39, 40, made the little shift there. So what was it like prior to all this? Were you anxious, depressed, and stuff all the way through all that?
Uh, there were definitely periods of my life where I don't know that I would use the term depression, only because I've had friends that have gone through actual clinical depression. And for me to call myself depressed, I think is doing a disservice to the actual size and meaning of what depression really is, because I watched them struggle so much. And while I had characteristics of depression, I wouldn't say that I was full blown clinically depressed. And I never went to a doctor, never seeked out medication or anything like that. But there were definitely times that I felt as though, I'm not enough. And that probably stemmed from childhood. I grew up with scoliosis, and I was put in a back brace at the time that I was 6 years old, I think. I wore it full time from 6 to 14. And the only times I was allowed out of it was for swimming, gymnastics, and playing softball. And I slept with it on everything. So this was a part of my life. And when kids saw me, I looked different and I dressed differently because I had to. I had to accommodate this structure around my body. And it constantly, I think it was actually, now when I look at it, it was building self-confidence. But back then, I looked at it as though it was depleting it. And so I often found myself in states of self-pity, like, oh, I'm trying my best, but I'm just not doing enough. Oh, it must be because I'm lacking something. I'm just never going to be good enough. And I had all these dreams and aspirations of being on the Weather Channel and being a meteorologist and all the things. And, when you get told many times, like, no one wants a crooked girl on TV, like, that does something to you? And I just was never in a place or a mindset where I could dig myself out of that. And I gotta tell you, it's the weirdest thing. I feel like entrepreneurship might be the thing that most people need therapy for, but it might also be the most therapeutic thing, if this makes
I
any
love
sense at
that.
all.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
I mean, had I not set out to do the mindset work that is required to own a business, to be an entrepreneur, to put yourself out there the way that we do, I wouldn't have probably pulled myself out of those dark places at times. And there were other things that happened throughout life too, but I just got to go back to that time because it was the most consistently effective uh, thing in my life that played a huge role in how I got here today.
Yeah, and just to think about how long ago that was and actually
Mhm.
look at it a different viewpoint now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you not feel confident back then? Is that really what you felt? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a lack of confidence. I played sports when I was a kid, and I was okay. Won some awards and team awards and things like that. And but I never felt good enough to win that award. I was never the MVP. I was most improved player, and I think I got that award, like a couple of times in a row. And I was like, well, when does somebody go from most improved to most valuable? And I just never felt valuable. I just always felt like somebody that was just good enough at a lot of things, but not great at one thing. And I think that stemmed from that time because I kept getting so drugged down and kicked, literally kicked, that I just I felt like this is all I'm supposed to do. This is who I'm supposed to be. I'm never going to have a purpose. I'm never going to make a difference. And once I started seeing past that and surrounding myself with the right people and reading the right books and consuming the right content, that's when all of that changed.
And about what time, what age was that you started doing all that?
Probably 35.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing how time passes by so quickly. And I look back, I had so many incredible years in college and in high school too. I would even say that I wouldn't redo high school just because, I was bullied or made fun of all the time or anything like that. I look back fondly on many years of my life. But now when I look back, I wish, and so many people probably say this, but I knew then what I know now. But I wish that I would have known or I would have been pointed in the right direction to start doing this work sooner. And maybe it just wasn't supposed to be that way because I was supposed to experience those things. But yeah, that's one thing I would have started doing the mindset stuff sooner.
Right. But you just probably weren't around the right people then either.
No.
Yeah.
That's I just did an interview for I think it's called Beyond Voyage. It's like a Canvas Rebel publication.
Okay.
And one of the interview questions was, what do you attribute most to your success or something like that? And it was easy for me. It was my network because, if you surround yourself with five losers, you're going to be the sixth. And if you surround yourself with five winners, you're also going to be the sixth. So you are a product of who you surround yourself with, and the circles that you're in is everything. Do you trust everyone? Do they trust you? When you get together, do you just gossip? Are you toxic? How do you interact? Are you talking motivationally? Are you giving everyone a chance to speak? Are you talking about yourself all the time? Are you listening to that? There's so much that we can accumulate from having the right people around us. It's just, I think that's one of, if not the most important thing now on any journey in life.
Yeah. I think I look back myself, right? Growing up, I want to say I wasn't like I had friends, but I wouldn't say like they were tight, and
Hmm.
I saw a different path that they were kind of taking, and I just didn't like it. And so I guess I just found myself on my own sometimes, not
Yeah.
knowing where to go. Um, and you get lost in that space sometimes, right? So and you
Yeah.
kind of think, okay, am I a winner or a loser, right? Where am I headed? And then, you trip over yourself sometimes, and you wind up falling on some people that are like, I'm here to help you out. I see where you are. I was there before, and they go to pick you up, right? And you have to just allow that, give that some space. And so you start reading, start listening, and following them. Go ahead,
Yeah.
yeah.
No, and the same thing too with people that come into your life short term, even for not so great reasons. We can learn something from all of the entries into our lives. And, I can think of a couple of relationships I've had with people that I now know why they were in my life. One of them, not really not great. And I didn't see it at the time. I figured it out, fortunately, not too long thereafter. But I realized the reason why they were in my life is because they were connector. They were the connector for a lot of the people I have in my life now. So there's a role for everyone to play. You just have to know how to play the game. You got to trust your instincts. You've got to really be in tune with your mind, your body, everything, and follow those instincts and understand why. Evaluate. My gosh, evaluate who's in your life. Why are they in your life? What value do they add? And when you start really diving deep into those things, then that's when you can really start cultivating a really amazing circle.
Yeah. So what I mean, so what was the transition like from 35 to now with you starting to read and all that? And, you know, I guess just share the path that you kind of took. So you started reading things, listening to things, and then what? What were the next steps for you?
Yeah, I I guess I should say probably before 35 when my husband and I started our YouTube channel. I I really was looking for an escape. And I found that, I mean, we love to travel and just constantly be going. And we decided to start a YouTube channel based around travel and doing something that we love. What I didn't realize I was going to love in the process was making the videos and the editing and how I can just get in front of a screen and edit a video for hours and be lost. I didn't expect that. So when that started happening, I started searching out Facebook groups and Instagram. I mean, I guess at the time they were still kind of influencers, but that was a very new term back then. I just started following people online and getting into groups and seeing what everybody was posting about and also interacting with other people. And I thought, well, these people operate a little differently than I do. I was in a job. I was a COO of a company and I absolutely hated it. And I didn't know it then, but I was looking for a way out. And through these groups and just watching people and following them, I thought, well, I'm just going to start interacting with them on a deeper level, more personal level. So I started talking to people, met up with a business coach and all the things. And then finally, when COVID hit, we had a lot of time on our hands. And I thought, well, I'm going to use this time to sharpen some skills and camera skills. I filmed a wedding and, did all those things. And then finally decided that I think I had enough support and in me, enough confidence in me that I could do this. Like if I really wanted this, I could do this. So I walked in one day, quit my job or resigned, I should say, um, and then built the business throughout that year. And eventually, I got more involved in groups. I got into masterminds. I started literally anybody that I felt like I could connect with or should connect with. I just reached out and just said, "Hey, I feel like we should know each other. I'm not creepy, I swear." And I just started forming relationships with people. And when people would connect me, I would take it very seriously. And I think, and one of the things that I enjoy most about being the Podcasters Hub and being able to connect with you is I enjoy too when people treat relationships the same way that I did then. I value when somebody says, "Hey, let's stay connected," and they actually stay connected because we say that
Hmm.
all the time
Yeah.
and we never actually do. And I pride myself in when I say something, I do something. And when I say I want to stay connected, like that means I want to stay connected.
All right. No, I agree with you. Yeah. A lot of
Yeah.
people don't do that.
Mm-mm.
Um,
No,
but
I think it's
yeah,
taken so lightly and not valued as much as it should be.
agreed. Yeah. So it's like one of those things that everybody just says and then they just push it off to the side, right? Um,
Hmm.
but you agree as from what you're telling me, it's just about building relationships and no transaction needs to be involved whatsoever.
No,
Um,
no. Yeah, it's the transactional stuff. And I used to go to networking groups and events and mixers and things like that. And while that's all well and good, I mean, it's some of them, especially how they're set up. I went to like a mixer one time that was one of those speed networking things. So you handed out your cards, you had 3 minutes to give them your elevator pitch, and that was it. I mean, how do you form a relationship with anybody in that time frame? And let's be honest, if you're just attending as a guest, nobody's doing business with you unless you're actually in the group. So I started to see the realities of, and I'm not saying every networking group is that way, but if you just, I think a friend told me this recently too. It's called mining your own diamonds. Form the relationships, nurture those relationships, and create that circle and that community. And my gosh, I mean, I think that makes us wealthier than anything, even money sometimes. When they say it's all in who you know, it truly is all in who you know. And I value those relationships, and I can call on my circle and they can call on me, and we know we can get anything accomplished.
I love it. So you have a tight circle now?
Yeah, I have a really tight circle. And there were a few things that happened this year too, that opened my eyes as far as trust goes in tight circles. And when you put yourself out there, online or anywhere, honestly, you open yourself up to judgment, and it's not easy. And especially given my history, I don't take criticism very well because it's a little PTSD for me. And I I've without going into detail about it, it really, really showed me what signs to look for in people, when you're evaluating trust, and what to keep close, who to keep close, and how trust is so valued also outside of you. So if you came to me and told me something that you said, "Hey, this is kind of on the DL, and I didn't put this out there publicly yet," things like that. There's a good chance that you're going to tell me that, and I'm not even going to go tell my husband. I'm not going to tell anybody until you give me the green light, because trust is the one thing that we lose and gets lost all the time, and it's so hard to earn back. And it's just in a world where everything can be leaked, and people hear things and gossip and this and that. I am very fastidious on being able to tell my own story in my words. I don't want you to hear it from this person and that person and all the things. I'm all about authenticity. And you have a really hard time doing that when you don't trust the people around you. And I'm really proud of the circle that I have now, because I know I can be myself and tell them anything, and the secret's safe with them.
And how did you build that circle?
Very carefully, and unfortunately, intentionally, sometimes too, because there are people that you realize you have in your life when you go through some of this mindset work that you realize are actually toxic. And you need to understand that where you spend your time, your most valuable asset, is where you're going to live. And are you going to be in that toxic world, or are you going to be in the positive, like trust, world where everything is, you're working towards something, you're growing towards success. And I started to see the signs and the flags of the people in my life that quite honestly didn't belong there for where I was going. And it's not that I love them any less. I do think that you can keep people in your life, that fill certain roles, but I think you have to keep them at a distance. And, they say you can't choose your family. I mean, you can. I don't care if it's a brother, sister, mother, best friend, acquaintance, whomever it is. If they've got to be on the outside looking in, that's where they got to be, because you are the only person responsible for you. No one else is coming to save you. So if you've got a dream, if you've got a goal, if you've got somewhere that you're going and no one's going to stop you, you need to organize your life. And looking at those people around you is like number one.
Yeah, I love this conversation just because and I don't know if I shared this with you before or not, but it's kind of like living like a bullseye, right? So a target. And so I was taught this too. So the center is the people you want around, be around the most.
Hmm.
And then you juggle the people around, right? And you slowly bring some in, push them away. So like you said, for example, your family members that you really don't shouldn't be hanging around with all the time or tell them things because they don't want you to become better than them in their eyes. So you push them towards the outside a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, doesn't mean you love them any less,
Right.
just different thoughts. You're growing. They're not.
Exactly, exactly. It's hard. It's really hard when you do this and I mean, you're gonna lose friendships. You're gonna lose relationships. That's just the way it is. That's what has to happen, unfortunately, because yeah, people are headed in different directions. And it's not to say that it's the wrong direction by any means. It's the direction that they are headed. That's their journey, their path. It they have as much of a right to infringe on your path as you do on theirs. And, I'm heading in a different direction. And if, that doesn't jive, it just doesn't jive. There's no point in forcing a relationship because it's what we have to do. That takes so much energy to do that. I think it takes more energy to force the relationship than it does to say, you know what? We got to part ways, or I can't talk to you as much, or I have to make less time for you because that's just how it has to be in order to get to where I'm going. This is just what it takes. And like I said, it's unfortunate. And I don't take any of that lightly. I don't want to sound soulless, but, or inhumane, but, really truly evaluate who is in your life and how, are they helping you get there or are they secretly hoping that you fail? Because that's that all comes in. That's all energy around you. And you need the best, most positive, motivational, purpose driven energy that you can get to go and grow and be successful.
Yeah. So what do you love the most right now that you're doing? Because now you have this great ball of people with you, right? Carrying you along the way. I mean, it's radio, podcasting, you got the YouTube, you got you know, you're all over the place. And you're traveling still. Like I see
Yeah.
things pop up all the time. I don't even know where you are.
I don't know where I am half the time. Uh, actually, just coming up, I have I'm basically traveling for the rest of the month of August, which is awesome. But we've also created a space here at home now, especially like during the summer where it's really nice to be outdoors. So I'm kind of like, oh, I want to come back to my happy spot,
Mm.
but I still love to travel. What do I love most right now? I Is it possible to be like so infatuated with everything that you're doing at once? Because I genuinely I love what I'm doing. I love that I didn't know where any of this was going to go a few months ago when things were falling apart, it seemed like. And, as an entrepreneur, I've heard this so many times. If you're not thinking, oh, I should get a job at McDonald's and quit everything I'm doing at least once a week, then you're not really an entrepreneur. Those days are fewer and further between. I'll say that because like anything else, you get a little comfortable. And when I start to notice that there's comfort creeping in, that's great. That means I'm feeling better about where I am. But then I'm like, all right, we got to get uncomfortable again because that's also how you grow. So I'm loving, honestly, the business is headed in a direction that I didn't see going. I'm loving that. I'm doing some new partnership work with a partner of mine. We're forming a new company, and this is all different, very uncomfortable at sometimes and awkward, but you do it because you each bring different skill sets. And I mean, I love her. I think she loves me. Like we are great together in business and we're friends. And that's amazing. I love that. I do love the radio show stuff right now because we're in a different community with it. And we're just getting to know the community. So we're actually going to be heading to our first festival in the community in 2 weeks. So we'll get a really good sense of who's listening to the show and I mean, I know the demographic, but who actually is listening? And I'm really excited about that. It's always really cool to do new things and new communities with new people too and get a feel for what else is out there. And it's just exciting. It's really exciting.
That's awesome. I'll tell you what, I don't know how often you mentioned or posted anything, but I had no idea whatever you experienced was going on. So whatever it was, he held it down pretty low, I think, in my opinion, from what I saw.
Thank you.
Um,
I actually I did a podcast episode
okay.
on it called Defending Your Character. And interestingly enough, and this is, and you can attest to this. I mean, podcasting, like this is the core of what makes podcasting so amazing. So I took all of the things that we experienced and I thought, I've got these platforms, like other people experience this too. Like, let's wrap this up into a podcast episode. So I did an entire episode on it. And it's still, I think I released it back in April, maybe. I'm still to this day, literally this week, getting people telling me, oh my gosh, my favorite episode was defending your character.
Mm.
And I was like, you know what? If my pain, something that I experienced like that, was if the point was for me to go through that so I could help other people through podcasting, so be it. I'll take it all day long.
All right. All right. Um, I'm going to ask you, do you find yourself to be, let me change it up. Would you rather listen to somebody or would you rather share the information you know?
Oh, that's such a good question. I I want to say I want to say share only because I feel like I actually haven't shared as much as I could have. However, that being said, I think there's so much I have to learn yet. I think I like to still tell everybody I'm a newbie at this. I'm a rookie at being an entrepreneur. And people are like, you're 5 years into this, you're not really a rookie anymore. You can't play that card. And I'm like, oh, all right. But I feel like there's still so much I have to learn
Uh-huh.
that I love listening to, especially if it's something that I really don't know anything about.
Yeah. Well, you podcast, so and radio and all that stuff. So there, it's back and forth, right? So
Yeah.
your podcast is still focused on entrepreneurs,
Mhm.
correct? Okay. Do you try to aim towards specific entrepreneurs that you probably want to learn from?
You know, I've fallen into this, I don't want to call it a trap, but I've fallen into this cycle. We'll call it a cycle lately. You get a lot of emails from PR companies and things like that, introducing, oh, I have a client that would make a great guest and so forth. And the system that I've developed behind the scenes to get people into the funnel basically has worked really well. All I do is just send them a link and everything else is taken care of. So it's easy. It's really easy to just send that out. And I managed to fill up my calendar to the point where I was like, I should probably stop recording for a little bit. And I've been taking these, and they've been amazing. I
Mm.
love these guests, but I haven't really been reaching out to guests that I would love to talk to hear their expertise. In particular, I vet mostly based on how I think the audience is going to take value from it. So just recently, I had a fiduciary, a financial representative from a firm come on, and that episode actually just came out this week as of this recording. And his whole goal is to help entrepreneurs with their finances. And I thought, well, that's amazing because no one ever talks about financials for entrepreneurs. We're not working for, we can't just have a portion of our paychecks go to 401k, it's a different setup. And I thought, oh, I think the audience will really like this. I had a guest on recently. She's the founder of a hair care company. And she talked about her journey with failing at one of her businesses and partnerships and restarting everything back up without influencers, without Amazon, and all these things. And I was like, oh, that's really cool. I think the audience would really like this because it's different. It's different approach and methods to how to be successful. And I think people really love hearing that success isn't a one size fits all situation. And I think that's truly what my podcast can offer. But yeah, it is a goal to start reaching out to some people that I really look up to and respect and have them come on too.
Yeah, you probably get a lot more enjoyment out of it personally, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I love conversations. I love, figuring out the conversation format when I'm talking to somebody new. That's amazing. But yeah, it's about time that I get some of the people on that I've really looked up to and connect them with my audience.
I think that'd be awesome. There you go. You got a challenge. All right. You're gonna
I
have to
like
grow.
it. I'm putting that
Yeah.
on the vision board.
That just make it happen. Don't throw it up there.
I
Just do
know, I
it.
know. You're right. You're absolutely
Yeah,
right.
yeah. Forget the PR stuff for now. Just jump into getting somebody
Yeah.
on that you want. That's awesome. Yeah, so I mean, like, how long you been podcasting for? It's been
Technically,
for a while, right?
technically, I want to say 6 or 7 years.
Okay. So it's been,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. My husband and I started with our own podcast during COVID, or right shortly after. But we only kept it up for a few months, and I got out of it for a little while, and then started back up again.
gotcha. And you started doing entrepreneurs then too?
No, actually, that podcast, it was called Just the Two of Us. It was about child-free living
Okay.
as a couple. And we talked about travel. Our last episode was called Entrepreneurship Bliss or something like that, because I think I talked about how I was leaving my job. And I should go back and listen to that episode. I bet that would be fun.
Yeah, you might want to throw it up on your podcast now.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, that'd be kind of
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. So no, that was just he and I. We had friends on. We talked about single people and had single friends come on and all those things. So it was fun. But yeah, I felt really passionate about the entrepreneurship thing when I restarted under What the Nell, because quite frankly, I enjoyed the business owner part of business more than I thought I would.
Yeah, well, I mean, you're having all these entrepreneurs come on. You're building your circle in a sense, right? Maybe not
Hmm.
connecting with them all, but you're growing as an individual, learning
Hmm.
from their experiences. And you just shared a few of them where they all started something, they failed, and they basically have to start all over, right?
Yep.
And that's what a lot of us experience. And yet there's a lot on the sideline looking down at you saying, I told you so, you ain't going nowhere. But again, it's a shift or a pivot that you have to look at and go, okay, that wasn't how that's not exactly where I'm supposed to go, but that's how I'm going to get to where I'm supposed to go. Right. So
Yeah.
you had to experience that. So whatever you dealt with, you experienced it for a reason to get to where you are today and all the stuff that you
Mhm.
just shared that's coming up. Um, Now, I know you're doing a lot. You shared everything you're doing. So how does somebody connect with you, your podcast, your YouTube, and your services?
Yeah, absolutely. The best place to go is to our website. It is enticingmedia.com, but it's ENTICE media.com because it's a play on our last name. You can find all of the information about everything we do there, the radio shows, the YouTube channel, the podcast, our services, everything. And if you want to connect with me on social media, I'm all about that as well. Nell Tice on Facebook and Instagram is where I spend most of my time is Instagram, honestly. And yeah, I'm on LinkedIn too. I guess I'm supposed to be on there more often.
Who knows?
I don't know. Social media for me is like,
Yeah,
oh,
that came up in the hub yesterday. I'm like, I can't fall in love with that thing. It's
I
not for
know.
me. It's just something about the way it's set up. I can't enjoy
Yeah. Yeah. I'm not sure we're supposed to, honestly.
it. That's great. But I'll put everything in the show notes and stuff that you just mentioned, your links and everything. So Nell, I have one question for you. What are three key things you've learned and used along your journey?
Three key things. I would say definitely my network. Huh. Gosh, I'm trying to think of key things in my journey. Um, there was a book that I read. called Un Unfuck Your Life. That was a great. Can we swear on this? Sorry, that was
Sure,
the
why not?
title of
Yeah,
the
it's
book.
kind of late now.
I know, it's true. So that book too, yeah, network, that book.
Explicit.
Yeah, mark that E on there. Uh,
Okay,
and gosh, oh my goodness. I don't know. I would have to say my camera.
your camera.
My camera. My camera is like, it almost feels like a crutch sometimes, but it's gotten me in so many doors. And the only other thing that's done that is my network. Yeah, my camera, I'm either in front of it or behind it. And it's it's what I do. I grew up just yeah, I guess I grew up wanting to be in front of people and entertaining people and providing something to people, even from the very early days of wanting to be on the Weather Channel. I wanted to be giving weather forecasts. But I've always been inclined to be in front of a camera. And I didn't know that I was going to be behind it, but it's
Hmm.
just as fulfilling, just as much fun. And yeah, I would have to say my camera.
Now, before we go, did you have any fear of jumping in front of the camera prior?
Nope.
No, just
No,
just there.
there are so many people. This isn't being in front of a camera is not for everyone. And I've learned that. It came very naturally to me. And I think it almost surprises myself a little bit, especially after just being so like not confident and self-esteem and people commenting all the time on how I looked and things like that. I I find it very odd actually that I'm so comfortable in front of it. Quick story. I auditioned at the Connecticut School of Broadcasting. I don't even think it's around anymore. And I went for my audition, which included having to read a spot for radio and having to read a teleprompter in front of a camera. And I read the spot for radio. I went to the studio to audition in front of the teleprompter and the camera. And I sat down and I read it, did all the things, and I guess whomever's in charge of like the scholarships or whatever was there in the room, came out from behind the camera and they accepted me on the spot and offered me a scholarship.
Hmm.
And I declined because the branch that I was going to go to was in Crystal City, Virginia, which I would have had to take the metro to every day, and it was just so daunting, like having to do that as a 18-year-old. And so yeah, I turned it down, but there's something that connects me with people through a lens. And I'm not even sure I've completely figured that out yet, how that works or why that is. But all I know is that my world is better through a lens, whether that's you're looking in or I'm looking out. The world is just better through a lens for me.
Awesome. I love it. We'll end there with that because I like it. We'll wrap it up.
That's
Now,
the camera drop, not the mic
yeah,
drop.
there you go. We'll run with that. I'll keep my camera there. But no, I appreciate you coming on, sharing everything you shared, and so thank you.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's about time.
Oh boy. Well,
No,
this
I
won't come
love you,
out for a
John.
couple months now.
I know, I know. You
I'm
know
just
I
kidding.
love it and I love
Uh,
what you're doing and it's amazing. So thank you. Thank you for offering me this opportunity and your platform and your audience and
sure.
yeah, this is just awesome. So thank you.
Ah, you're welcome. Thank you.